everyone, welcome to the Ukiyoto Author Podcast series. I'm your host Shankhalita Roy. Today we are joined by Dr. Aritra Kumar Das, a writer who dives into the complexities of the human mind, exploring memories, traumas, dreams, and everything we often choose to leave unspoken. Apart from being a writer, he is a teacher and researcher in quantum astrodynamics. He has won many awards, including Poet of the Year and 21st Century Emily Dickinson Award. About this book because it is not the collection of thoughts, it's an exploration of everything we suppress, unresolved emotions, forgotten plans, and the quiet chaos within us. Blending mythology, science, pop culture, the book travels across themes of love, war, mental health, and the infinite nature of existence. So, hi, Oitro, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. How have you been?
I'm also doing good. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's wonderful to have you here.
The pleasure is all mine.
Yeah. So let's move to the first question. So, what was the thought or
Of
phase in
course.
your life that made you feel more ways than one needed to be written?
Well, with everything that goes on in daily lives, and with everything that I have faced, the good, the bad, and the ugly, I felt like I needed to communicate,
Yeah.
and maybe communicate in more ways than one, and not just the regular communication that we go through. There are a lot of things are left unsaid. So
Yeah.
that's what prompted me to write this.
What was the thought or phase in your life that made you feel more ways than one needed to be written?
When you see with everything that goes on in our day-to-day lives, everything that we face, all the words that's left unsaid, it kind of felt like I needed to communicate in maybe more ways than one. And that's
Okay,
what prompted me to write this one.
that's interesting. So your book explores suppressed memories, trauma, and forgotten emotions. Why do you think people tend to hide these parts of themselves?
I believe that it is a Freudian distinction that has been made. Ego, super ego part. And the constant struggle between one of those aspects to dominate or overcome the other one. Where it comes, and these suppressed emotions, the emotions that we do indeed
Yeah.
suppress in our lives, I think they are born out of Eve. And Eve doesn't, Eve is just pure raw desire. The way it is also present in a newborn baby. It doesn't really care about any oversight. And maybe that is too raw parts to handle in daily lives. And that's why people do suppress them unconsciously sometimes.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. So, can you share with us your journey of writing and publishing your book?
Well, the fact is I've been writing for quite some time now, and more ways than one. This book that we are talking about. It is my first solo title. So I was not really aware about the mechanics of writing and publishing my own book or any book for that matter. I used to submit my entries in collections and anthologies in the past. So writing this book and publishing it, it has been an eye opener for me as to what and how the Indian academic as well as non-academic publication scene works. It was good for me, I guess.
So, we all started the journey in the similar way. I was also wrote anthologies and then I shifted to writing my own
Okay.
books. So, was there any section or idea in the book that felt too personal or difficult for you to express?
Well, now that you ask it, uh, the book does deal about themes on love, war, mental health. There are certain numbers in this book. For example, there's a poem known as Clearance Mail in this particular book. It deals about the death of a loved one. So things like that, I feel are really difficult to express, not because of the literary quality or the technicalities in the poem, but more so because of the nature of how close these thoughts or these feelings are to me. That's it.
Okay. So, since you have said earlier also, like you have blended mythology, science, pop culture, and mental health as well. So, how do you express these emotion elements and such complex inner experiences?
When you see what I believe makes these things a little bit complicated is the fact that we are not always ready to talk about it in the open. People feel, even in families sometimes, or closely knit personal units, social units. People feel the need to suppress this in order to stick to the norms, to conform.
Yeah.
And that I think needed to be addressed in some way. So that was definitely there. And I would say that if I need to cater to everyone, then I need to think of them as my friends. I myself would like to be in a conversation where there would be elements of pop culture, mythology, science, things that I really know about, things that I've been enjoying since my childhood. So that's what made me feel like I should incorporate these elements because that makes it personal. That makes it more like me. That's why.
Wow. That's interesting. Actually, it's always about being with like minded people and sharing the ideas as same as yours. So, what do you hope readers? Yeah. So, what do you hope readers discover about themselves after reading More Ways Than One?
I hope that the readers will find companions among these poems because I feel some of these poems are extremely relatable across all caste, creed, religion, nationality, or any kind of boundary really. If someone is going through a particular phase in their life, a difficult phase, these poems will be there to uh, be with them and help them remember that no, you are not alone. There is an undercurrent of steadily growing people like this, and people would be, encouraged to go out and talk about it and not suffer in silence. That's what it's about.
This is something that many of us can resonate with. So, what is one truth about yourself that this book forced you to confront?
Well, I guess the most pressing one that I have been forced to confront is maybe plan beforehand because that was also about that's also a key lesson in my author's journey. Before getting into this, there is a general idea that writing or composing, since it's an art form, there is there's enough amount of time. There's, I mean, it is all about daydreaming, visualizing, and all that. But there is a very practical aspect to it, which I didn't know maybe or didn't want to accept earlier. So that is one truth about me that I need to be more practical. That this book had forced me to confront, and practical in ways that matter to me.
Oh, wow. That's a really good one. So, we need to be very realistic about what we do, right? So,
Yes. Mm.
Arithro, thank you so much for joining with us today. It was wonderful learning about your journey and your books. Listeners, you can find his book on the online bookstores, Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, Flipkart across 25 countries and counting. Stay tuned for more conversation with Ukiyoto authors and thank you so much for listening. And thank you, Aritra, for joining once again.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank
Yeah,
you.
welcome. Okay, bye.
Bye.